Soil moisture sensors can collect information about moisture in the soil and about soil temperature. You can use this data to make better water management decisions, or after monitoring the data, it can be used to automate those watering decisions. Before we get started, you'll want your soil moisture sensor to be installed in an area that represents the other irrigation zones. The process of installing the sensor is slightly different for conventional wire systems compared to two-wire. To use your soil moisture sensor for data collection, log into your App Manager account with your secure username and password. Open Base Manager, make sure you're working on the right controller, and then go to the Devices tab. If you haven't already assigned your moisture sensor, select the Assign Sensors menu to search for and find sensors that are attached to your system. I'm using Soil Moisture Sensor 2, so I'll click Edit and then name the sensor to help identify its location. Today I'll name this Moisture Sensor 2 in Zone 17 Turf. Be sure to save before you leave Devices. Now open the program that holds the zone with the installed soil moisture sensor. If you don't already have an existing program with the sensor, create one now. Open the program, then select Edit to make changes. My Zone 17 has the sensor, so I'll change the current timed mode to primary mode. With primary enabled, I can assign a soil moisture sensor to the zone. Because I've named the sensor, it makes this process much simpler. If you didn't name the sensor, you'd have to rely on the serial number to make this critical assignment. We don't want to have the soil moisture sensor in the planter beds influence the irrigation in the turf areas. Move to the strategy field and set it to time. Later, you may want to use a lower limit strategy or an upper limit strategy, but for now, we're only collecting data in the timed mode. That's all we need, so be sure to save your work before leaving schedules. With the soil moisture sensor assigned to a zone, we can now collect some usable data. At Devices, then Moisture Sensors, I can see the current moisture content for sensor 5 is 24.2% and the soil temperature is 60.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Selecting Chart Moisture brings up an interactive graph that compares moisture content and soil temperature. Changing the interval shows the moisture and temperature trend over the last month. Back on the Schedules tab, I'll open a program for a different view of moisture content. Selecting Chart Moisture for the zone with the associated soil moisture sensor, I initially just have the zone runtimes. Selecting the gear icon allows me to modify that report. I'll make sure I have the correct moisture sensor, which is sensor number 5, and then change the interval to reflect a different time period. When I rerun the report, the blue bar shows zone runtimes, and the green line indicates the changing moisture content. Notice on May 24th, after a 31-minute runtime, the moisture content increased and then decreased over the next few days as the weather dried out the soil. On May 16th, the moisture content peaked with just a 10-minute runtime, perhaps due to cooler weather conditions. Information from this report can show changing weather patterns, heating or cooling trends, and rain events. This info can also be used to determine if runtimes are too long or too short, as well as helping determine run day intervals.